I'm really only known internationally for two different things. One being the only YouTuber that has the courage to say that Kiss is the worst band in the history of music. And two, my efficiency. So today we're going to talk about efficiency, and basically the main premise here is we're going to take two fingers, your ring finger and your pinky, we're going to connect them, we're going to tie them together, and we're going to see all the cool things you could do just using your fingers in this position, from a chord standpoint, all through a key, to double stopping and everything in between. So join us as we're going on a magical journey of peak efficiency, and maybe even throw in a few jabs in at Kiss as well along the way. I do want to start by saying that this video is sponsored by Sennheiser because I'm completely wireless today. I've got the Sennheiser Evolution wireless system going on. It's pretty funny. I normally have just gone wireless. Like I've used Sennheiser wireless for a long time, especially for my acoustic gigs. But doing the video with Andreas last week that you may have seen, we were both on wireless units just shooting a video, and I can't tell you how freeing it is to just get up, walk around, maybe just leave the shot, come back. I have so many cables that it blows my mind. So I'm a big fan of like wireless being in the studio now as well. But it's really cool because it just comes with a body pack that is powered by just regular AAA batteries, and then you can plug it into any instrument, acoustic, electric, whatever. And they have a cool receiver here that you can just go direct out. So like right now I've got my amp on the other side of the room that I'm recording, and I can just walk around with this. So +1 for wireless. They're also doing a rebate program right now through the end of the month. So if you have an existing wireless unit, specifically something with lithium-ion batteries that are starting to fail, you can actually trade in another brand and get a rebate off a brand new Sennheiser wireless system. So that is something you should definitely consider because I've been using them a long time live, and they're super reliable. If you're playing with other musicians, they have a cool app that you can kind of check each other's like signal and stuff, and also the battery life on the app too. So thank you to Sennheiser for sponsoring the video. Let's get right into it. It's going to be in the key of D major, all right? First of all, we're going to start off with the D power chord, the 5th fret on the A string, the 7th fret on the D string, and the 7th fret on the G string, right? So again, my ring finger and my pinky are essentially holding down a power chord of a D major representative, okay? So these notes in and of themselves isn't major or minor. We're thinking of it in major, as we're going to see as we kind of go through this lesson. But we're starting with the D major power chord, which we have already exhausted the entire musical theory that Kiss is known for, right? Just power chords. But we're going to do so much more, all right? First thing we're going to do is we're going to explore other notes in this key and add them to this static position where your ring finger and your pinky just stay here, all right? So what I want to do is just go through a couple of the notes in the key of D, just their locations. You don't even have to memorize the names of the notes, but there are two sharps in this key, C sharp and F sharp. My root note is D, 5th fret. I want to think of the 5th fret, the 7th fret, and the 9th fret as notes in this key on the A string, and the 3rd fret, the 5th fret, and the 7th fret as notes on the low E string, okay? And now the cool thing is we can start with this D power chord, then your middle finger is free, and you can switch it to this B on the E string. And then also take what I'm thinking of as the bass note or the root note of what's going on, and then adding lower A on the E string, right? So right now we're kind of dancing around just taking a D power chord, and in fact, when we go to the low A, it's still an inversion of a D power chord because it's just any combination of a D and an A will give you a D power chord. And then we're just adding a B to kind of turn this little group right here into what is a shell voicing of a B minor 7. You don't even have to think of it that way, but it is very helpful to kind of understand how these work, like the names of the chords and stuff. But right there, that's already something just by moving around that we can start to explore this key just using, all right? Now, the reason that power chords are so great and the Kiss is so reliant upon them is because you can really pair them with any of the root notes in this key, and it always sounds good. So you can kind of just move your hand around in this frozen chord, all right? So here we have D, which is representative of D major. We have E, which is representative of E minor in this key. F sharp would be an F sharp minor chord. G, representative of G major. A, major, and then B, minor, right? So we have everything that we need for the 6 main chords in this key, right? 3 major chords and 3 minor chords, but we're just navigating around them with your ring finger and your pinky just kind of tied to each other. So anytime that you know where the root note is, like let's just take the 1, 2, and 3 chord, we can automatically connect these together. And this works as a movable shape in any key, but again, I'm just kind of pairing them together. Now I can go off of just this D major chord and then just kind of do some cool stuff like how I'm changing the root note, but then I can kind of move into these double stops. It's almost kind of like a little solo, a little fill type thing. See, I'm kind of establishing like a D major chord, then B, and going into it. And now I'm just kind of playing around, and even though I'm not really thinking, you know, something that sounds like D major to E minor to F sharp minor, I'm kind of just navigating around just like that and just making cool sounds, all while keeping the integrity of this shape in line. And I know I'm getting like a perfectly great signal going to my amp because I got this Sennheiser pack. There's something about just having a pack like this that makes you feel fancy, right? Clip it on your belt, clip it on your pocket. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I actually prefer to clip it to a pocket over a belt. It's just my comfort clip area of choice. But again, find out what you want to do. Kiss usually likes to clip it to their deep misogyny. and then we can go back to the A chord here, right? And then just kind of do the same thing here. Now, the one thing where this won't work is if you start on the G chord and then you do that. It's like, oh, what's that? We're actually introducing a note here that is maybe a power chord of like, you know, a C major, which isn't in that key. But again, I think you kind of get the idea. The other cool thing about this is you can use it to make cool different chord voicings, right? All you have to do is move it down from the D and G string, which you've usually been kind of jamming on, and then move it to the G and B string, all right? Now for this, I'm gonna go to a D power chord, to that E. This is a really cool one, like a minor 9 chord right here. So now I've got my middle finger on the E, my pointer finger's on the minor 3rd of that, which is the G right here, and then again my ring and my pinky are together. So D to E, and then I know that since these two give me notes that are in this key, I can start changing the root note around there. And then if I want to, I can slide into a different position and still think in my mind's eye of my ring finger and my pinky being together, and then just maybe picking it up with my pointer finger to get into a position that might be more comfortable for me. And there's no place more comfortable than minor pentatonic, right? So all that stuff really just starts here. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to double stop through that position, which you probably already saw coming. Come on. Minor pentatonic, the one that goes with D major would be B, it's relative minor. And then if you go through the notes of that scale, we have 7, 10, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. Now you'll notice 7, 9, 7, 9, that could be 7 and 7, and 9 and 9, like we already demonstrated. Or the same thing, down a string. And then we get to 7 and 7, and 10 and 10. Okay, so always think of like, all right, well I have this bass note, whatever it is, maybe it's a D. And that could be like a cool transition into something else, right? And it all comes from just taking these as a shape and be like, all right, 7, 10, 7 and 7. This is where you'd have to split them up. I don't want to split them up though. And then you can always end back where you started. And that's why it sounds so good, right? Listen to how it sounds when I end there. It resolves because, again, that's our D power chord. So everything we've done has been in that key and dancing around, right? That's a really cool thing to do. This is a super long stretch. It just looks impressive. You know what I mean? Let's see you do this, Gene Simmons. Come on. Third fret on the E string and then keeping your ring finger and your pinky there. So D, B, A, G. A lot of cool stuff that you can do, and again, I'm just keeping this, and I'm thinking of a bass note from these spots, and then pairing these together. You can also do this in any other key. Let's do the people's key of G. Let's find the G on the A string, 10th fret. And then there's its power chord, 1, 2, 3, 10, 12, 14, and then 8, 10, 12, G, A, B, C, D, E. So it's really just playing the scale in order, but pitch-wise out of order. And I think there's like a lot of utility in that, right? So stretch isn't that bad when we go down because the distance between the fret spacing gets higher. Again, you can always resolve on that power chord at the beginning. So again, it's great. It feels so great to be wireless. I can just spin around. I can just put the guitar out of the frame. Go wireless. It's always good to have a wireless set on there. Also, too, I want to talk about how I've seen some wireless packs where the actual cable is like soldered into the body. This one is great. It unscrews because, let's be honest, at some point I'm probably going to trip over this still. I still find a way. I always find a way to trip over cables, even if I'm wireless. That's the true mark of a real clown. Like, here I am talking trash about Kiss, but they probably have never tripped over a wireless set like I have before. But anyways, thank you to Sennheiser for sponsoring this video. And like I said, there will be a link in the description to the rebate program, because you can save like $50 to $100 off one of these just by sending in like your old wireless that probably isn't getting the job done. So, like I said, thanks for watching. Thanks to Sennheiser. If you have any questions or comments, hit me in the comment section, Instagram, or the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.